North Africa, 1943. The once proud Afrika Korps is broken, exhausted, outnumbered, and out of fuel. Its commander, Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, stands at the edge of defeat. His men have given everything, but Berlin gives him nothing. This is the story of betrayal, of how Hitler, the man who once called Rommel his greatest general, left him to die beneath the desert sun, and how that betrayal changed the fate of the war and of Rommel himself. In 1941, Rommel was a hero, the man who gave Germany hope. He conquered vast stretches of desert, capturing 130,000 Allied soldiers at Tobruk. His name became legend, the Desert Fox. Even the British respected him. But by 1942, the legend began to crumble. The Allies had learned, adapted, and outnumbered him. The sands that once hid his tanks now trapped them. Rommel's brilliance could no longer overcome reality. No fuel, no supplies, no reinforcements. And above all, one obstacle he could never outflank: Adolf Hitler. To Hitler, North Africa was a sideshow, a distraction from his true obsession, the war in the East. Rommel saw the desert differently. He believed North Africa was the key to the Mediterranean, and control of the Middle East meant oil to trade and the southern flank of Europe. But Hitler refused to see it. He poured everything into Russia, Operation Barbarossa, and left Africa to wither. Without supplies, without reinforcements, I cannot hold the line much longer. The enemy grows stronger every day. Berlin replied with silence or excuses. When Rommel asked for 30,000 tons of fuel, Hitler sent him 3,000, most of it sunk by Allied submarines before it reached Tobruk. The Desert Fox was running on fumes, literally. October 1942, the Second Battle of El Alamein. Rommel was sick in Germany when the first shells fell. When he returned, his army was already collapsing. Montgomery had 230,000 men and 1,000 tanks. Rommel had barely half that number and less than 300 tanks. Every German shell had to travel 2,000 kilometers across the sea. Every Allied shell came from a port just 200 miles away. The outcome was inevitable. Rommel asked to withdraw, to preserve what was left of his army. "We cannot win here. To stay is to die." Hitler's reply: "There will be no retreat. You will stand fast, fight, and die where you are." Rommel disobeyed and saved 40,000 of his men. For that, Hitler never forgave him. From late 1942 to early 1943, Rommel led one of the most difficult retreats in military history. 1,500 miles of sand, heat, and pursuit. Every day, his men fought to keep moving. They called it the Road of Bones. Rommel wrote in his diary, "We have become ghosts. We exist only to delay the inevitable." He radioed Berlin again and again, asking for help, for air cover, for fuel, for ammunition. None came. Hitler was obsessed with Stalingrad. The Sixth Army was dying in the snow, and the Desert Army was dying in the sand. For both, Hitler's orders were the same: no retreat. By early 1943, Rommel's exhausted army reached Tunisia. Hitler promised reinforcements, a new Panzer Army to turn the tide. But what arrived were remnants, untrained replacements, outdated tanks, and empty promises. In February 1943, Rommel struck one last time at Kasserine Pass, crushing inexperienced American forces in their first major battle. For a brief moment, the Desert Fox returned to form. But the Allies adapted quickly. With air superiority and endless supplies, they closed in from all directions. Rommel urged Hitler again to evacuate North Africa. Voice actor reads telegram. "We must save what remains. Every hour we delay, we lose another 1,000 men." Hitler's response was delusion. "Hold Tunisia. The Führer will send the new wonder weapons soon." Those weapons never came. In March 1943, Rommel was ordered home, Officially, it was for medical reasons. Unofficially, it was exile. He was replaced by General Hans-Jürgen von Arnim, a loyal Nazi who would obey the no-retreat order. 2 months later, 250,000 Axis soldiers surrendered in Tunisia, the largest German capitulation before Stalingrad. Rommel was not there. He listened to the news from his home in Germany. Silent, broken, forgotten. Hitler needed scapegoats. He blamed the Italian Navy, the Luftwaffe, even the weather, but never himself. Rommel's name was erased from Nazi propaganda. The hero of Tobruk became a ghost. In private, Rommel began to see the truth, that he had been fighting not just the Allies, but the madness of his own leader. He wrote, "Loyalty is not blind obedience. It is the courage to speak the truth, even when it costs everything." The war in the desert had ended, but Rommel's personal war was just beginning. Within a year, he would be implicated in the plot to kill Hitler. Within 2, he would be dead, forced to take poison, offered the illusion of honor instead of the rope. The man Hitler abandoned in Africa became the man who could no longer follow him. And so ended the story of Erwin Rommel, soldier, strategist, symbol. Abandoned by his Führer, remembered by his enemies. In the end, Hitler didn't just lose Africa. He lost the only general who might have saved him. And the desert still remembers.